Hey Richie, let's take a look at your week 3 assignment 3 drawing. This is looking pretty good. I think just as solid as the last assignment. There's a few kind of details within the table itself that are just a little bit different from the initial one, where I think the initial one had some nice touches to it. The environment is well done, though. I think the textural stuff that you're doing at the bottom for me works out well in terms of kind of a carpeting feeling, at least a very unevenly colored surface area, which is good. And then the background over here is terrific. It's very smooth and even in terms of its coverage. The detail, though, is kind of, you can see here right along the edge outside of the tabletop. Here you have kind of this nice grain texture that's radiating outward, and then it kind of stops right at the end where there's almost like a border. There'd be pieces of wood that kind of surround it, and those pieces of wood are different. The grain is different. It's moving in a different direction than what the radiating outward one is. So this, to me, really makes it feel like a realistic piece of furniture. This is how furniture would be made. You'd have a frame, and then you would have the pieces fitting inside of it. Here the grain goes all the way out to the edges, and for some reason it just really changes the way that the top of the table looks. It doesn't feel quite as realistic as it did before, especially how the grain just goes right over top of this line work that you've done that's making the split and just continues onward. It's a little touch, but it's definitely one that observationally I liked a lot in these drawings, and we're not quite seeing here. The rest of it's in place, though. The texture is there, the difference in value is there. You've got a nice amount of cast shadow in place, which is also very good. The file size is very large, though, 4200 by 4200. So a little bit too big for what we really want. But I would say otherwise it follows in line very closely with what you did last assignment, which was, I thought, very good. And with just kind of a few minor, I would say, adjustments to be made, it would be equal to that one. And then the addition of the background looks good. It could be expanded a little bit more. It'd be nice to have a little bit more area to work with so that it feels like it's in more of an open space. Right now it's fairly tightly situated within this image size, but otherwise, I think it follows along with the parameters, and it's looking pretty good.